Nigga. First video on your home. And I'm already good going on. 8 food deliveries, out horror stories. Anime, let's get it.
I used to occasionally deliver for DoorDash on the weekends. This happened about a year ago, and at the time,
Hold on, what you saw?
I used to occasionally deliver for DoorDash on the weekends. This happened about a year ago, and at the time, DoorDash was new to my area. Not many people used it, but if you worked at the right times, you could still make well above minimum wage. It was a Friday night, and I got a request in the app to deliver to a house around.
My nigga, I got some fucking Sprite. Hey, but this shit don't look like Sprite. That shit ain't even got no bubbles in it. That shit look like water. This not Sprite. I don't know, that bitch showed up. It just showed up on my table.
Around 8 miles away. The house was on a deeply wooded back road with absolutely no streetlights. Like, literally, if you turned your headlights off at this time of the night, you were completely blind. I delivered to a house in this area once before, but that was when it was light out, which, trust me, is a way different scene.
Yup.
I didn't have much for phone service, so it was
boy.
difficult to find exactly where I needed to be. But after a while, I finally found the place. The house seemed pretty similar to a lot of the other houses in the area. Secluded looking, and right on the edge of being able to comfortably call it abandoned. I pulled up to the house, and because of the limited visibility, I decided to keep my car's headlights on while I dropped off the food at the door. But to do this, I had to keep the keys in the ignition, and so I did. I figured it wouldn't be the end of the world if I left my car running for an extra 30 seconds. I took the bag of food to the front door. I knocked a few times, and waited about 20 seconds, when my phone went off. I was getting a call from a blocked caller ID.
Damn.
I decided to answer it in case it had anything to do with the food I was delivering. It was some man who sounded completely normal. He explained how he was the one who placed the DoorDash order, and he then asked me if I could just bring it to him around back. I was already sketched out as is, and so I told the guy no way. If he wanted his food, he needed to come to me up front.
That's real flag. I'm never doing that shit. A nigga just call you on your phone. You pick up your phone. You DoorDash out here. Hello? Fuck no. Like, dude, why would you tell me to do that? Like, hello? Can you come to the back right quick, bro? I can't come to the front because blah blah blah. Like, no, nigga, and it's dark. No, bro, that's not happening.
But to that, the line just went dead. I told myself I'd wait at the front door for 1 more minute. If this guy didn't show up, I was just gonna leave. Maybe 30 seconds passed, and the guy did show up. The front door opened.
Damn, Tyler,
I looked
nigga.
at the dude. He was wearing a black ski mask, and was just standing there looking at me. I held out the food, but he made no reaction. That's when the guy yelled out, "Alright, now!" Right as he said this, 3 men, also wearing ski masks, came sprinting out from around the back of the house towards me. My flight reaction kicked in immediately, and I ran straight to my car. I opened the door, put it in drive, and had the pedal to the floor in no less than 2 seconds.
I nigga just kicking
I was
it.
able to hit my car a good amount of times before I was able to drive off.
Let me just kicking this shit. I think he ain't even do nothing. I think just sitting there kicking his car like that's supposed to do something.
I ran straight to my
Open the
car.
door.
I opened the door, put it in drive, and had the pedal to the floor in no less than 2 seconds. The men were able to hit my car a good amount of times before I was able to drive off. With what? I don't know, but something strong enough to break my back passenger side window and make a few other dents. Not even a minute into driving off, and I got 2 back-to-back calls from a blocked caller ID that I can only assume were both from the same guy. I let both calls ring until they stopped. I was shaking uncontrollably.
Damn, nigga.
Still struggling to regain my...
Go ahead. My nigga, I know that shit not that scary, bro. That shit can't be that scary.
my composure. But after
that nigga
a few
shaking
minutes,
like he
I
got
calmed
the
down enough
chill.
to call the police and report the incident. And that was that. I don't know what ended up happening, and I genuinely don't want to know. I've tried to distance myself from the whole situation as much as possible. It's beyond terrifying for me to imagine what those guys had planned for me that night. A part of me thinks it was just to rob me, but another part of me thinks they wanted to kidnap me, or worse.
Especially for my girls out here. My nigga, everybody out there, especially the girls, especially like young niggas, y'all niggas gotta be safe. It's an evil ass world. Y'all niggas gotta be safe. Y'all gotta make sure that y'all know where y'all at. Who y'all with. You know what I'm saying? My foot like bro. Obvious shit to not get kidnapped. I'm a real ass nigga. I'm just speaking real ass. I'm just saying. I gotta be careful out here.
This happened back in 2019, on a Friday night in January. I had just gotten back from work, and was honestly way too tired to make my own food. I always heard good things about food delivery apps, and so I figured that night was the perfect night to finally download one and try it out. I just downloaded the first one that showed up. I then made an account, placed an order at a semi-nearby restaurant, and turned on Netflix to watch while I waited for it to arrive. Now, it's worth mentioning that on this night in particular, there was a lot of snow on the ground. The app said the delivery would take around 20 minutes, but I figured that didn't account for the terrible driving conditions. I honestly assumed it would probably take double that. I can't remember exactly how much time had passed, but it finally got to a point where I figured I'd just forget it and cancel the order. But right before I did, I got a message from the driver. Word for word, the message read, "Can't find your house. What's your personal phone number?"
Alright.
Now, you gotta remember,
right.
I had
That's
just...
alright. That's alright. Cause I don't be ordering food. I don't do that shit. I just eat whenever I get home. But every time I do order food, niggas do be saying that sometimes. Cause niggas don't be knowing what your house is. So every time I do order food, I mean, that's just regular shit. I can't find your house. Can I press fucking fuck. I can't even talk. Your personal number. That's just regular shit. So I ain't really worried about that. But let's keep going.
Downloaded the app that night. So I didn't know if it was common or not for drivers to ask for their customers' personal phone numbers. But I ended up giving it to him anyway.
That's regular. Like I said.
10 minutes later, he would contact me. But not over a phone call like I expected. The guy texted me, saying he'd be at my place with the food in 10 minutes.
Alright.
This unsettled me a bit. I was under the impression he needed my phone number so he could call me and get better directions. But I just tried to brush it off. Around 10 minutes later, I would get another text saying he left the food on my doorstep. I went outside to get it and sent a text back thanking him. I figured that was that. But around midnight, I would get another text. It was the delivery driver. The text simply read, "I really liked your sweatshirt." This was now getting extremely weird, as the text suggested that the guy had stayed to watch me grab the food from my doorstep. I tried to play it cool, and responded with something like, "Haha, yeah, thanks. It's pretty nice." I can't remember everything that was said next, but it was some string of multiple texts that were something along the lines of, "So how's your night going? What are you up to?" and various other seemingly harmless messages. To these, I didn't respond. At the end of the day, I told myself I didn't know this guy, and I had no obligation to keep a conversation going. So, I just went to bed.
Yep.
But come morning, I would wake up to 20-something texts and multiple missed calls, all from the same number. It was again that same delivery driver. The last text was sent at 3 a.m., and as I scrolled through the texts, two in particular caught my eye. One of them read, "I'm outside your house," and the other said, "I can't see anything through your window. It's too dark." But that wasn't even the worst of it. I would later go outside to find...
I don't think them dudes. What's it called? Oh yeah, that ain't no. I think it's like, yeah, them. Yeah, ain't no. Well, these two different niggas Toy Shorts party. Yeah, that's different. Alright.
Find footprints in the snow that I knew for a fact were not there the other day. Meaning, this guy wasn't joking. He had actually showed up to my house. By the looks of the footprints, had walked around it multiple times. I've since moved, and haven't received another text from the number. That was the first and only time I will ever use a food delivery app.
That's creepy. But that
I'm
music.
27 and currently out of work. I recently got laid off at my job, as the company I worked for was starting to go under. So, in an effort to keep up with the bills, I started delivering for Uber Eats part-time. A couple of my friends suggested it, and so I figured I'd give it a try until I found another job. To my surprise, it was actually good money. The only thing I didn't like was some of the places the app had me delivered to. I live in a city with a lot of sketchy areas. I try to stay away from those areas while delivering, but there's only so much you can do. This night, a Saturday, I got a McDonald's order.
My nigga looks sad as hell. He looks sad. He looks
I
so
usually
sad.
don't accept those ones, but this night was strangely dead. Which was weird. Saturday nights are usually the busiest for Uber Eats. Anyway, I pick up the order and start heading towards the address I'm given. Instantly, I realized it was not in the best area. But by this point, I decided to just suck it up. I pulled up to the house, and right away the vibe was off. It was completely dark with not a single light on in the house. Usually there's at least a light on upstairs, or something that would signal someone being awake and waiting for their order. But the house seemed dead. Nevertheless, I put the car in park, turned off the engine, grabbed the order, and started walking towards the door. I walked onto the porch.
For like y'all niggas that's like serial killers in real life, I hope y'all niggas not doing this shit, bro. Because that's dumb as fuck. Because can't niggas just figure out where the fuck you stay from the order and then come catch your dumb ass? Like, that's dumb. Ain't no nigga finna do that shit. Because if I'm pretty sure if you order something to your house, like you gotta have your fucking address. So you're gonna have an address on it.
Porch, and as I reached for the front door, I saw it. The door was slightly cracked open.
Ooh.
I knocked, and as I did, the door opened slightly more. I yelled out that I had an Uber Eats order, and right away, some man walked to the front door.
Yeah,
Like,
that nigga look
as if
like
he
Maui off of Moana. That nigga tatted up. That nigga look demented.
Waiting right there. As he got closer, I got a good
It's
look
like a
at him.
weirdo.
Now, I'm not one to judge a person by their physical appearance, but this guy was practically covered head to toe in tattoos. The guy looked extremely intimidating. Definitely not someone you'd want to mess with. He had this look of frustration.
Damn, nigga! I just gonna stare at each other?
He was staring at me dead in the eyes.
That nigga looking mad.
Lifted up the bag of food.
That nigga. Like, goddamn.
He grabbed
That nigga
it.
mad as hell.
The guy then started
That nigga-
reaching in his pocket. I figured he was going to give me a tip. But no, before I knew it, the guy was holding a hunting knife and pointing it in my direction. My stomach dropped, realizing the situation
back.
I was now in.
Run back.
I was either going to get robbed
Out the-
for everything I had, or worst case scenario, killed.
Fuck, I'm gonna punch that
My
nigga in
mind
the
was
shit.
now racing.
Punch that nigga.
Thinking as fast as I could, I turned around towards my car, screamed at Derek to
nigga
grab
in
the
the shit.
gun, and put my hand in my pocket to start my car's engine
Punch that
from
nigga
a
in the shit. Start running.
button on the key. But there was no Derek, and I was in no way armed. But I figured if I could somehow convince this guy I was, I gave myself a chance to get out of this. All I could do was pray that the threat along with the vehicle starting would be enough to convince this guy I didn't come here alone. And luckily it was. The guy shoved me back and slammed the front door. I ran back to my car and practically tore the door off trying to get in. I got out of there as fast as I could. I would of course end up calling the police, but I never heard anything back about whatever ended up happening. I assumed they didn't find anything, and that the guy was long gone by the time they arrived on scene. But I can't confirm this. If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's how fortunate I am to own a car with a remote proximity key, as I don't think the guy would have bought the whole act if I didn't start the engine. I still drive for Uber Eats every
God,
once
that's
in a while,
crazy.
but I've since started carrying a knife on me at all times.
God. Alright, y'all, that's it. 8 food delivery app horror stories. I'll do a part 2. I'm probably gonna do a part 2. I am. It's just that this dumbass recording software that I got don't let me do it over like 20 minutes, so I can't do that shit. I'm recording that shit right after this, so it's gonna be a part 2 if y'all want it out. Like this video, subscribe, out.